Okay, so what I'm going to show you today is how to record your radio as a podcast. So you can see I've got all the mics and everything here ready, and the presenter's mic, etc, etc. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to first of all create a cart wall. I'm going to find a couple of songs and I'm just going to drag them in. I've found myself a jingle there. And I've got a variety of pauses in. You can see as soon as I press the cart, that will cue it up here in the bottom left hand side. Now, in order to record, what I need to do is jump to an empty cart. So if I just put 888888, there you go, there's nothing in here, so you can see that that is an empty cart. And then what I want to do is right click and press record into this cart. And if I do that, you can see this goes red, and down here we have it looking for the volume level. At the moment I'm just going to move that volume level towards me. Okay, it's now started to record. So we'll start the show.
All of today's best songs, only at RadioFPS.
And I'm online now, so I'm just raising my volume to make sure that it's as loud as it needs to be. It needs to be as loud as the songs themselves, so on the board itself you need to be flickering the orange bit. So what I'm going to do here is just lower this and make sure that I start my next song, which is going now. And as soon as my microphone comes down to the bottom here, the song starts and gets underway. And I'm going to stop it there, and then we're going to go back to this cart, and we are going to press stop down in the bottom right hand side. This would be at the end of your show. And you can see it says, do you want to save the audio you've recorded into this cart? So I'm going to say yes. Do you want to jump to this cart? I'm going to say yes again. So here, if I right click it, I can play it and review it for myself, but what I want to do first is to edit the cart audio and details. So not just the edit the details, but the audio as well. So I select that down here, and it opens a new program. First thing I do is I go to the title and I input the name of the show. In this case it's going to be test, but in your case it will be the name of your show plus the date. So we're going to go for 12th of the 1st 14. Guest user, that should be your names, so I'm going to put Mr. G, and you can leave on studio alone. Now you can also see down here I can play this. And you can see that I can't hear a lot.
Sit down and relax. Hot new sounds. All of today's best songs.
So there's a massive disparity between this bit, which is really, really quiet, and this bit, which is actually too loud. So what I need to do now is to make sure that I select by selecting the middle line here, clicking the mouse down and dragging all the way to the bit that I want to increase the volume of. Once I've done that, I go to this one here, fourth one along, change the volume of this section of the track, and I put it up to 300%, and then I'm going to do the same thing again, 300%, and then I'm going to do the same thing again, 300%. And you can see this does it only on one channel, it only records in mono. The next thing I might want to do is to take this bit, which is really, really loud, and I want to reduce that volume. So I'm going to reduce this to 49, maybe 38%, 40%, something like that. And you can see that's coming down, and that's much more in line with what I've got there. If I play that from the start,
just going to move that volume level towards me. Okay, it's now started to record. So we'll start the show.
Sit down and relax with Finham's hot new sounds. All of today's best songs, only at Radio FPS.
So again, you can see that that's much more normal between those two, but this bit here, which is me speaking again, I'm getting very little actual volume. I've just misselected that, unfortunately. So from here, oops, I am going to select this section again, and I'm going to do the same thing, fourth button along, and I'm going to put that up to 300%, do it again, 300%, do it again, 300%. Now I've got to be careful here because this looks like it's actually part of the, I don't think I wanted to do that. So I'm going to actually reduce this all the way down. Yeah, so it's around about the same. Let's just play it to make sure that it's right.
PS.
Online now, so I'm just raising my volume to make sure that it's as loud as it needs to be. It needs to be as loud as the songs themselves. So
now I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a lot of distortion there, so actually I've overdone it. So what I need to do now is to just keep reducing the volume until I've got it about right, not hitting the kind of extremes there. Once I've done that, then I need to press this button up here, not the save one, but edit the audio with an external editor. That's because this is the only way to get it as an MP3. So it says before the audio can be edited with another editor, it must be saved. Do you want to save this with the cart details? Yes, please. It automatically opens Audition, and if you want to make any other sort of little edits to it, you can in here. I personally don't like that particular view. I could do that. I could also make it stereo actually by putting this into there. But for the moment I'm just going to show you what you need to do once you've got it right, which is go to File, Save As. You need to change the type to an MP3 Pro, and you then need to change where you're saving it. Now all of your stuff should be in My Documents, it'll be in Shows, and you have to select your show name up here, which I've selected in. So let's say this was a Desert Island disc, I would put it in there and I would call the show Desert Island Discs with the date after it, so that anybody downloading this knows exactly what they're downloading. That's got to be absolutely clear. So Desert Island Discs, this is the bit where you wish it was voice activated. 12th of the 1st 14. There we go, .mp3, and we can save that. Yeah, and I've got invalid characters in it, so let's just do that without the slashes, or the ampersand for that matter. Silly boy. It saves, and then if I was to go into My Documents and look in the Shows section under Desert Island Discs, it should be here. And that is the show that you need to put onto a memory stick and give to me so that I can upload it to the school website. It's also the thing that you can use and put straight onto a Frog page. If you do it in New OS, you can just insert media, and as long as you've uploaded that, then there's your show, and that gives people an archive to browse through. Anyway, I hope that helps.